Call your sponsor.
Call you sponsor.
Call you sponsor.
Call you sponsor. Call you.
Bitch, call your sponsor.
Yeah. And then what? Tell me, like, so I've bounced around from like doing different types of meditations. I always, for like newcomers or like new, like some sponsees that ask me like what I do for meditation. Like I just tell people to find something on YouTube or like a binaural beat, or just download Insight Timer and just find something there. You know, like I always used to meditate post yoga in Shavasana. That was like my first form of meditation. Counting breaths has never worked for me. Except when at the monastery, where it was like having to look good, you know, like not having to rustle, move around. Like that was the only, you know, in a group setting, I was able to be still and sit and stick it for 45 minutes, you know, otherwise like that's not happening at home. So it's like a guided meditation sometimes has helped. And then I've been doing TM for so long where it's just like a mantra base and it's whatever, 20 minutes twice a day. And sometimes I do twice a day, sometimes I don't. It's like I'm not as, you know, and I initially did it was like, you know, buy the book, like, you know, and it was, you know, I'm doing this regardless. And it's like, yeah, okay, whatever, you know. How about you?
Well, I like to be honest here, so why not keep going with that? I am not doing a meditation practice right now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many reasons that popped in my head as to why not. One is I might become too spiritual. I might levitate off the face of this earth. So there's a lot of ego. All right. Way to go. We got that out of the way, Misty. My sponsor does 2 times a day, 20 minutes, and she does the TM. I've taken the TM thing before and done the mantra and committed to it. And I know I would be better for doing it. And I have a rebellious teenager that's like, I don't want to. And I am just like trying, I'm just going with that because I don't want to. And I'm doing my small celebrations of being in the moment and listening to what music I want to listen to and driving down the street and looking at every tree and talking to it and saying thank you. And so I'm doing it in a way that incorporates with the busy lifestyle. And I'm willing, like I am willing. So that's all I can say on it, because anything else is just going to be a bunch of word vomit and not be authentic.
Well, I love that because I always say quality over quantity. You know what I mean? It's like I could sit there, do 20 minutes twice a day and be an asshole. You know, it's like the guy going to church and then flipping a bird and tailgating every, you know, and after on the way home, you know.
Right.
So for you to not consciously be doing whatever, you like whatever practice, whatever, you're practicing mindfulness, you know, which is ultimately meditation, you know. And so like there's some people I work with, they're like, yeah, I go swimming every day. I was like, dude, well, that's probably it. You know, that's it. Like, because for me, meditation at the core, whether I choose to sit, light incense, whatever the fuck, like it could be moving or not moving, you know. Ultimately for me, it's about training my brain to focus on something and or just focusing on something here and now. You know, and that for me is, and that's why I ultimately think that it's part of every spiritual practice, and particularly step 11 in our 12 steps, because it trains my brain, like back to your analogy with the dog, it trains my brain to be on the leash where I need it to be. I'm the one basically directing it, you know?
Yes, exactly. And I've always felt like meditation and sitting is it's so good. It's so good. And I feel like I'm being a good girl and I don't want to be a good girl. And it's really about me pivoting and reframing what that experience is like. And yes, going ahead and being mindful in the moment and having that be enough for right now.
Well, you always used to, always, I mean, forever, like, whatever those words are, normal. I mean, so, I remember there's that part in step 11 in the 12 and 12.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, that is
Say it,
my
say it.
favorite. Sometimes what happens when you don't feel like praying or meditating? And it says sometimes you're going to be seized with a rebellion so sickening that it hurts your every step. And what should you do in those moments? You should not think too ill of yourself. Simply resume prayer and meditation when you can. I'm just
That
like,
for me.
what? What are you people saying?
Yeah. That for me is like the loose garment piece, where it's like, oh, what? I don't need to beat myself up because I'm not doing this perfectly, or I'm not doing what I committed to, or all of those things, because I can be that person very easily.
Yeah, and it really helps me. I mean, I think I was just talking about like the really overly strict, overly religious woman, and then my mom who was loose and fancy free. And what that paragraph did for me in the 12 and 12 was it said, you can have both. You can incorporate a little bit of both. And like, we do want you to pray and meditate, and it is going to help you. But there's going to be times when you don't feel like doing it. And the most important thing is during those times, we don't want you to think bad about yourself.
Yeah, that was very freeing, that passage. What was interesting is when I really did initially give in to like doing meditation, people actually noticed before I did. People were noticing people were noticing like my energy. They're like, have you been doing something? They thought it's like, they thought it's haircut. Did I get some fillers? Like, you know what I mean? They thought it was something outside, but energetically they felt something different, and I've heard it since, like, where people are like, we just want your like energy, like there's like an energy, like this calming thing that you bring to meetings, and so it was, people were saying stuff about it, and then I later realized like, oh, I'm less reactive. I'm pulling the trigger less with certain things in my life. I was able to actually have a breath before, taking, that like gut reactive, trigger. I used to be very abusive to the IT department at work. And I was one of those people of like, I cannot believe you, like, this is still not working. I'm on a deadline. Don't you know who, it's like all of this stuff. Like it was really bad, and I would slam the phone in an open office like multiple times on the receiver. Like, it's like, no, I hung up the first slam, but multiple times, yeah, between 6 to 10 years of sober.
Love it.
This was
Love it.
And that has since stopped.
There's
a button on the phone now. There's not a wire, but
right.
It's different. Yeah, there's not that reaction.
Oh my God, I love this so much, because the only way that I stopped sending shitty emails as responses to something somebody said, like per my previous email when I told you 4 days ago, blah, 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 because I was that girl. I would go hood rat in emails, in corporate environments. Like, how does this dumb bitch not understand, right? Like, I did not know at all how to play the game. And again, I was operating from this belief that everybody was better than me. So when somebody wrote back and said, yeah, but what day is that on? I would go so hard on them because I thought, oh my God, you guys are supposed to know this. Like, it's okay that I don't know it. But how do you you people who went to college and master's degrees, you can't read the subject line, you idiots. Okay, that's how I was. That was the energy I was bringing to emails. And I was so wrong so many times that it finally got me to the point, I guess is what they call humility, that when I'm about to go hood rat on an email, I go, wait a minute. I've been wrong so many times. Let me reread what they said. Oh, turns out they didn't even ask about the date. They're asking, okay, I know we're having it on this day, but when's the next series scheduled? And I've screwed up enough times that I now go, whoa, wait a minute. You may have misread. You may be wrong. And that's why all those times where it was embarrassing or I did do it wrong, they were so beneficial.
Wow, that's awesome. Awesome. I mean, it's like, yeah, we learn, right? I eventually will learn based on the pain or whatever, that's ultimately, progress. We're at our final 5. I have a question for you.
Yay.
What is something you'd like to invite into your life?
Fuck, dude. That's like a really good question. What is something I would like to invite in my life? Oh, okay. I would like to invite a comfortability with living a higher lifestyle. I would like to invite a vibration of, when they say, act like you've been here before? I love that one. So it's basically like when good things happen, when there's accolades, when there's praise, when there's, a better financial future, a better living situation, any of that, that instead of me feeling like I just got the holy grail and who do I thank for this and I'm so unworthy and oh my gosh, I can't believe it, all that stuff is just like, act like I've been here before. Like, of course that went well. Of course, it's going like this. Like to be more, I would like to invite more and more comfortability with my power. How about you?
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I would like to invite more vulnerability and love. Yeah.
Say more.
Yeah. I am, in our 4th step, it talks about, to the outside world, we present the actor, and then our inner world is totally, can be different, right? And my first sponsor always used to say, we're going to match your insides to your outsides. And, for me, that's the intimacy piece, intimacy, all of that, the vulnerability. And so, I would like to invite it. And so I've been practicing being that person that's more vulnerable, that can be awkward, that can be all of the things that it's like, oh God, who is this person? It's like, it's me, Sam. It's me, Sam. Not perfect. It's and tell me, because it's totally fine.
Oh, I love this. Oh my God, that's amazing. And once again, we've killed it. Thank you so much, Sam, for bringing this topic and being vulnerable with all of us. And all of you guys, this is your call to go out there and get vulnerable and call your sponsor.
Your sponsor. Call you
Call
sponsor.
your
Call you
sponsor.
sponsor. Call you.
Bitch, call your sponsor.
Call your sponsor. Call your
Send us an email with comments, questions, or concerns bcysponsor@gmail.com.
Don't forget to rate 5 stars.